Welcome to our TXNORML open meeting. Thank you for being here. Please turn to the person sitting next to you and say, let's legalize it. How many people are at a TXNORML meeting for the first time? Raise your hand. Wow, that's a lot of people. Very cool. Thank you for being here tonight. TXNORML is a grassroots organization. You are TXNORML. So thank you for being with us. We have a great agenda tonight. I'm going to talk about the current marijuana legislation in Texas and our new United States Attorney General in Washington, D.C. Les, our merchandise director, will talk about decriminalization and civil penalty and the implication of those two terms. Destiny Young, our membership director, will talk about membership and how important it is for us to be members of TXNORML. And then I'll talk about our upcoming events. Sound good? Yeah! First, at the national level, President Obama has nominated Loretta Lynch as his Attorney General to replace Eric Holder at the Department of Justice. We are very disappointed that when asked during her nomination hearing if she agrees with President Obama's recent statement that marijuana is safer than alcohol, she said she does not agree with that statement. Boom. That's right. Lynch is a federal prosecutor based in New York. She said, and I quote, "I certainly don't hold that view and don't agree with that view of marijuana." This is disappointing because the majority of Americans believe that alcohol is more dangerous than marijuana. Here. Government statistics support that alcohol is a much greater contributing factor to crime than marijuana. Yes. And medical science supports that alcohol is more of a danger to our health than marijuana. This is also disappointing because our President and his Attorney General have the power and authority to reschedule marijuana from its current Class 1 status, where it is grouped with heroin, in the Controlled Substances Act to a lower schedule. We prefer that marijuana be completely descheduled and legalized throughout the United States. But it would... But it would be logical and realistic for President Obama and his Attorney General to at least reschedule marijuana to Schedule 3. This would make researching marijuana easier and allow doctors to prescribe marijuana as medicine. Ms. Lynch went on to say, "I can tell you that not only do I not support the legalization of marijuana, it is not the position of the Department of Justice currently to support legalization, nor would it be the position should I become Attorney General." Boo. That's right. Boo. Boo. So this is not good news about our new Attorney General nominee. Reefer madness still reigns at federal level. Boo. However, not all the news is bad from our nation's capital. Hooray! Here's some good news from Washington, D.C. President Obama admitted publicly that marijuana is, in fact, safer than alcohol. Yay! Obama! President Obama admitted that enforcement of our drug laws falls disproportionately on minority citizens, and therefore our drug laws are racist. Yes! President Obama and Attorney General Holder have backed off from harassing states that have legalized marijuana and stated that they will allow those states to continue with their experiments with legal marijuana and medical marijuana. Fuck yes! Medical marijuana programs in 23 states are functioning smoothly, and all the dire predictions that teenagers would increase their use and crime would skyrocket have been proven false. Yay! Thousands of patients in these states are using medical marijuana with no adverse effects. Yay! The Treasury Department and Justice Department have put out guidance that banks in states with legal marijuana and medical marijuana programs may do business with legally operated retail marijuana businesses. Hooray! Congress defunded DEA raids on legal medical marijuana grow operations and dispensaries. Bill Piper, a lobbyist with the Drug Policy Alliance, stated, "The war on medical marijuana is over. Now the fight moves on to legalization of all marijuana."
Yay!
And the Justice Department said in December that Native American tribes can grow marijuana on their reservations and the federal government will not interfere. Now that's a lot of reservations. There's almost 300 Indian reservations in the United States. There's 3 reservations in Texas, so it'll be very interesting what the tribes decide about this issue.
Let it grow!
And then this is from today. I hand wrote this note.
Today.
Dr. Vivek Murthy, our new Surgeon General, said on CBS this morning that marijuana can be helpful for some medical conditions, and he said that our marijuana policy at the federal level should be driven by science.
Yay! Yes, science!
Not fear, not reefer madness.
Hooray!
So slowly, the dominoes are falling, even at the federal level. So that's the good news.
Yay, the good news!
Now let's talk about Texas.
Boo!
As you know, our Texas legislature is in session. They meet once every 2 years, so they convened in January. Legalization advocates have established a strong coalition in Texas. We have vowed that we're not going to fight against each other in Texas. We're going to work together with each other in Texas. In some other states, the different legalization organizations have competed with each other and fought with each other just as hard as they fought against the government. In Texas, we're not going to do that.
Yay!
The name of our coalition is Texans for Responsible Marijuana Policy. It's headed by Heather Fazio. Our coalition includes TXNORML and all the other NORML chapters in Texas, the Marijuana Policy Project, the Drug Policy Alliance, Republicans Against Marijuana Prohibition, and many other legalization organizations in Texas. Our coalition has hired a full-time lobbyist, Randall Kuykendall, from here in Austin, for this legislative session, and he is working for us full-time every day. Representative Joe Moody of El Paso has filed HB 507, our civil penalty bill. This bill would make possession of 1 ounce or less of marijuana a civil penalty with a fine of $100, no arrest, no criminal record. The next step in the process is to convince the head of the Judiciary Committee of our legislature to hold a hearing for this bill. If the head of the committee agrees to hear this bill, we will publish an action alert on our TXNORML Facebook page with the date and time of the committee hearing. Sometimes we get very short notice, sometimes like just 24 hours. We will reserve a room at the Capitol. We will all meet up there. Hopefully you'll all be there with us. We will meet at the Capitol and we will register to testify. There's these little kiosks located around the Capitol with computer screens, and that's where you register. That data goes into the committee clerk, and they do it by alphabetical order. When your name is called, then you go sit up front in front of the committee, and you have 3 minutes to talk to the committee. That may not sound long, but when you're sitting there looking at 12 or 15 legislators staring at you, 3 minutes can be a very long time. So, make your 3 minutes count. Start working on what you want to say about the civil penalty now. Time it, make it right at 3 minutes, and speak from your heart. What the legislators want to hear is what you think about this issue straight from your heart and your experiences. So you don't need to memorize talking points. It's good to look at our legislative packet. But what's most effective is you telling our legislators your experiences, your thoughts, your feelings about decriminalizing marijuana in Texas. If the majority of the committee approves the bill, then it will go to the House floor. Then, our Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick, decides if the bill will be debated on the House floor. If he approves for this to happen, we can watch as our representatives debate the bill and vote on the bill. This bill is extremely important because 70,000 Texas citizens are arrested every year in Texas for marijuana-related offenses. I live in a town with a population of 70,000. 70,000 is a really big number.
Yeah.
Medical marijuana. Our lobbyist, Randall Kuykendall, is meeting with legislators to find a sponsor for our medical marijuana bill. This bill would establish a medical marijuana program in Texas. To qualify for legal protections, a patient must suffer from a qualifying condition and must submit an application, a fee, and a written recommendation signed by a physician. The state would then send the patient a registry ID card which allows law enforcement to verify the patient is allowed to possess and cultivate limited amounts of cannabis. The qualifying conditions would be cancer, HIV/AIDS, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, Alzheimer's, PTSD, and conditions causing wasting, severe pain, severe nausea, seizures, or severe muscle spasms. Patients and their caregivers could possess 2.5 ounces of cannabis, 6 cannabis plants, and the cannabis harvested from those plants. The bill provides for 4 types of licensed medical cannabis businesses in Texas: dispensaries, growers, laboratories, and product manufacturers, including edibles and tinctures. We hope to have a sponsor for this bill within the next 2 weeks. What we're looking for is a conservative Republican to sponsor this bill. What Randall has heard from conservative Republicans is some of them have told Randall they will not oppose medical marijuana in Texas, but they don't want to put their name on the bill. And so if within 2 weeks we don't have a conservative Republican sponsor, then we will ask one of the Democrat legislators to sponsor this bill. And then the bill will go live. Once we find a sponsor and the bill is filed, it will go through the same process as the civil penalty bill. Of course, we all want marijuana to be totally legal in Texas. However, we know that it's not going to be legalized in Texas this year, unfortunately. Our experience in the states that have legalized marijuana is that decriminalization and medical marijuana lay the foundation for full legalization in the future. So that's the 3-step process we envision in Texas: civil penalty, medical marijuana, and then full legalization. We are encouraged by the growth and strength of the legalization movement in Texas. You being here shows our strength. Texas is a Republican-controlled state. We are gaining support from many Republicans who are starting to understand that criminalizing marijuana is against core Republican values of individual responsibility and less government interference in our personal lives.
Yay, Republicans!
Texas is a hard fight, but we pledge to you we are never going to stop working until marijuana is 100% legal in the state of Texas. So that's our current status in Texas. If you have any questions, I will be glad to talk with you after our speakers are finished. I would like to invite Les to come up here, and he's going to talk about decriminalization and civil penalty and what that means to us. Be sure and introduce yourself to Les over at the merchandise table and check out our cool merchandise.
So, I'm Les. If you've gotten anything in the mail from TXNORML in the last couple of months, that's from me. If you complain about anything not arriving very quickly, you complain to me. We've got a medical bill that we're working on, but we already have a decriminalization bill that is actually up in the legislature. HB 507. There's going to be a lobby day coming up, February 18th. Am I correct on that? The lobby day is really where the rubber meets the road for what we're doing here. I mean, Flamingo Cantina is great, but I think we can all admit that I'm preaching to the choir right now. We're at a normal meeting. Who's in favor of legalization? Yeah! That is not the responsibility of the Capitol. But if you get enough of us in a room, we all dress nice and we all look professional and we don't freak out the people that work at the Capitol, then we can go sit with them and we can find out what their real concern is. And finding out what their real concern is how we end up at bills like decriminalization, when we all know we would rather have full legalization, or we all know we would rather have medical. But we start at decrim. And if you've heard the term civil penalty, that is because a lot of politicians don't like to be soft on crime. And if you call something decriminalization, it sounds like they are hand-waving away a bunch of criminals. Civil penalties. Civil penalties sounds like tort reform. It sounds like something that's saving us money. It sounds like something that's unclogging the courts. It sounds like things to make the whole system work more efficiently and cheaper. That's a core conservative value. I'm not going to say Republican because we're a broader state than that, no matter who's running the legislature. We've got a lot of libertarians. We've got a lot of people who don't sit comfortably in either party. We had a group a few years back that declared themselves a republic. We're Texans. So when it comes to a civil penalties bill or a decrim bill, I think we can all take a minute and appreciate that despite it not being full legalization, how great it would be for a college student to not be scared that they're going to lose every lick of scholarship money that they've got, that they're going to lose every professional license that they're ever going to have, that they're not going to go to grad school, that they're not going to go contribute to anything higher salary-wise in Texas. They're not going to give back any taxes to the state of Texas. In fact, decriminalization addresses this concern. If you don't want to smoke pot, so you don't care if it's legal, you don't even know anybody's sick. I don't know how that's possible. But you don't care that there's medical. Do you really hate pot enough to pay for the room and board of every single person smoking pot that we're going to throw in jail because I guarantee you you're footing the bill on that? And that money's going to a private company somewhere that's making money off of it. The problem right now is that those guys have been lobbying longer than we have. We are working on that. And what we need to do it is members. We need you guys. Paying dues, showing up at meetings, volunteering for stuff, whatever level you can pull off, we need support. Sheer numbers are the only thing that are going to make politicians react to us. If they think they can be fired, they'll do what we need. So we need people to not just sit back and go, decriminalization bill, when are we going to, I'm going to save my energy. I'm going to really help when it's going for full legalization. Well, if we can't get it decriminalized, I don't think we're going to get it any further. So let's start with the bill that we have up in the House, HB 507. Everybody needs to remember that number and look it up. And Rep. Moody is out of El Paso, I believe, right? Yeah. So I doubt anybody, if anybody here, if that's your representative, thank you for driving in. But I don't think it is. So we need to work on our representatives, because when this thing comes up, we don't want our guy to go, I haven't read about that, and slap it down. So find out who your rep is. Ask almost anybody in a normal shirt standing here, anybody who's working these things, we can help you find your rep. We can help you get to the lobby day if you can get off work for it. We can help you write a letter. We can help you do whatever you can to help get this passed. But we need a civil penalties bill passed. I heard someone the other day tell me that their concern was the slippery slope, which sounds really close to the actual plan that we have in place. So I had a hard time convincing them that it wasn't a slippery slope, because I fully intend decriminalization to lead to medical to legal legalization, and they were really, really concerned about this. And I told them the other concern that had been presented to me was that we just don't know what it'll do. I mean, if we start legalizing it, then the sky could fall. Like, it could hair lip every newborn child in Texas. I mean, we don't know what legal pot could do. Except that we do know what legal pot could do, because we can watch other states do it. And then the argument I got back was, well, they're not Texas. I mean, Colorado's not Texas. Nothing's Texas. I don't know if any of y'all were born here. It's a pretty solid attitude. So, decriminalization, that's that baby step. If you're scared of full legalization, decrim just saves us money in the short term. And we can see if the sky falls. Then if it doesn't, maybe you can lead that person to medical. If the sky doesn't fall when cancer patients have pot, maybe we can allow reasonable adults. So that slippery slope that I hear people afraid of actually addresses one of the other concerns. If the person you're talking to is worried about how legalizing pot in Texas will disrupt the fabric of Texas society, decriminalization is a great spot to start. That's the toe in the water, saves us money, unclogs the court systems, keeps kids graduating school, becoming taxpayers, helps the whole state function better, doesn't require anybody to sign on with actually handing a joint to anyone. It's a really good bill to be able to argue with people who were never even in this discussion before. So even though, when I first heard about the decriminalization bill, I was thinking, decrim, like, can we not swing for the fences here? We are, but not everybody can take that right out of the gate. So, HB 507, it's civil penalties or decriminalization, depending on who you're talking to, and how freaked out they look. So talk to everybody about it. Know why we're presenting it instead of medical and instead of full legal. It's that toe in the water. It's Texas. I'll take progress in any stride we can. So hopefully we'll see some of y'all in lobby day.
Now, the question is always, what can I do? And what you can do is the following three things. Go to the Texas Legislative website, and you'll see on the right-hand side of that website where you can type in your address and your zip code and hit enter, and then all of your representatives in Texas will pop up on the screen. You can send a message directly from that screen to your state representative and your state senator. That's the first thing you should do. And ask them to support the civil penalty bill and tell them from your heart your opinion about marijuana in Texas. The second thing now, a lot of legislators will not reply back to these messages. My personal representative, Jimmy Don Aycock, does not reply back to email messages that come through that forum. His aides read them, but they don't reply. The second thing to do is sit down and either handwrite or on your computer type a letter to your representative and your senator. They pay much closer attention to letters that come in the mail. I know that may not make sense to all of us, but these guys are kind of old, a lot of them, and so they still pay a lot more attention to an actual letter in the mail than they do an electronic message. And most of the time, you will get a reply to a letter. So the second step is actually mail a letter to your representative and your senator. And then the third thing to do, after you've done those two, is call their office, their phone number will be there, and tell them that you are a constituent of that person, that you live in that district, and you would like to meet with that person personally to talk about our bill and to talk about your views. You usually will not be able to meet with the representative or senator, but very often you will be able to meet with one of their aides. So those are the three big steps that every single one of us can do in Texas to push these bills forward. I would like to introduce Destiny Young, our membership director.
Thank you. I am a membership director, meaning I'm going to talk to you about why you should become a member of NORML. A couple of things that are pretty obvious about what membership can do is last year and the progress that Texas made. TXNORML, I don't know if you know, well, you don't know because I just tallied this up, but from October 2013 to August 2014, we doubled our numbers in TXNORML. Completely doubled. A lot of shit happened last year with TXNORML and Texas in general as far as the progress of marijuana legalization went. So membership obviously does something because we were able to get out and talk to people that aren't the choir, as they referred to earlier. We've been trying to go to more intellectual events like Voice and Exit. There's a $500 fee to get into that event to educate people about why marijuana legalization is important. A lot of people were there to talk about why we should legalize MDMA and cocaine and every other thing. We were the only ones there talking about marijuana. I'm down for full legalization of some things, but I'm just saying we were there to represent. And we couldn't have paid for that without membership dues. So you should join. There's 5 different ways to join. The bottom one is 20 bucks. If you don't have that, you can volunteer. We need everybody. The cool thing that membership can do is it's not just you joining a club so that you can sit around and smoke weed in a room. That's what we're already doing. Throwing money at that doesn't do anything else. The reason you join, the reason you become a member is it gives us ammo when we go talk to those legislators and we can say, hey, guess what? 10 people joined at our last meeting. They all happen to be in the same district because we all live in this city, go figure. And so almost a dozen people right then and there in their district that are going to vote for them possibly, again, care about marijuana legalization. And that's huge. And we keep track of that. You don't just take your money. None of us get paid. We are all volunteers. So the best thing to do is just go to the table and join if you can. The next best thing to do is maybe talk to some people about it, about why you think they should join, why you think you should join. Make conversations happen. And that's one thing that I joined for because I didn't really have people that were moving and shaking with it. They bitched about it. Everybody does that. But they weren't doing anything about it. So I came to learn. And then I ended up being a board member. And, you know, you don't have to do that. But joining helps. Joining can be your part. If you're not a mover and a shaker. If you have social anxiety and you don't want to go talk to legislators, it's okay. You can send a letter. It's good. But you can also join NORML and give us things to tell your legislators. So there's 5 different levels. Basic is $20. The next step up gets you a shirt so that you can represent NORML when you're out and about. You can make conversations just by wearing a shirt that has a file leaf on it or says NORML because it's recognized more and more. That's $35. And then you can also join with a friend if you need to save a buck. And for only, what is it? For only $60, it's a family membership. And they don't have to be family. It can just be a friend. You get 2 shirts, 2 memberships, you get a button, you get a sticker, you can join any of the teams that we have with that membership as well as a volunteer. And, the next step up is actually a freedom fighter. We actually had somebody join tonight as a freedom fighter. I actually see a couple of faces. Yes, I see a couple of faces in the room that are freedom fighters from past couple meetings. And we really do appreciate those members. It's a $100 membership. You do get one of our 420 glass jars that says I fought Texas. It's awesome. And you get a shirt, you get all that stuff. People that are joining for that are really joining for the stuff. I realize that. But it is our little thank you gift to say thank you, because that goes a long way. Like Dave said before, we are in a coalition and we are paying a lobbyist. So your dues not only go to booth fees for us to go out and talk to people, but they also go to pay the lobbyists and actually get things done in the Capitol. I kind of wanted to break something down for you to let you know how far it goes, because for lack of a better phrase, putting your money where your mouth is that what it is? Yeah. Put your money where your mouth is it goes a long way. It's walking the walk. It's not just, like I said, sitting around smoking pot and doing something. So my goal for tonight was to get 10 members, and I was going to get 10 basic members. That's $20 a pop. That's $200. We pay for all of the merch, obviously, that you can buy. And we do obviously make a profit because we are trying to further the legalization movement. So $200 can get us quite a few shirts. Basically, if you go down the line, the $200 that we can make tonight from the 10 basic memberships, which we've already surpassed today, so you guys are amazing, can actually get us through the entire year of booth fees to go out and talk about legalization, the ones that we have planned at least. We may get to join a couple more. But we are going to be at Reggae Fest, we're going to be at Eeyore's birthday, we're going to be cabling many music events around town, we're going to have a huge Willie's event in March. We've got a lot going on, and it's because of you guys. So if you're not a member already, please come help us. Please go join at the table, and if you want to join online and get more information first, that is totally fine. All of the links are at the table as well. You can ask any NORML member in a shirt, any of us with badges. I don't have my shirt on today. Yes, please join. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Destiny. We're a 501c4 nonprofit registered with the Secretary of State of Texas. All of our board members are volunteers. Nobody gets paid. So your membership money goes directly to legalizing marijuana in Texas. All right, here's our upcoming events. You can find our Facebook invitation to all of these events on our Texas NORML Facebook page. If you're not following us on Texas NORML Facebook, please do that. You'll find out all the information about the legalization movement in Texas there. This Saturday, I don't know if I said this, I'm the Director of Veterans Outreach for Texas NORML. I've been doing this for about, I think, 2-3 years now. Seems like it's gone really fast. This Saturday, February the 7th in Killeen, home of Fort Hood, the largest military post in the United States, we will sponsor a seminar titled PTSD and Medical Marijuana. Our featured speaker is Dr. Neeraj Shah of Seton Medical Center. Heather Fazio from the Marijuana Policy Project will discuss the medical marijuana bill. Jack Spinkel, our Deputy Director, will discuss legislative action. Several veterans will discuss PTSD issues in Texas. This will be a historic event in Killeen. There's going to be a reporter there from the Killeen Daily Herald, and they're going to run a story on the seminar in the Sunday edition of the Killeen Daily Herald. So we're very excited about that. This is big. I hope all of you can be here for this. I know some people will not be able to because you work, but if there's any way possible, please join us for Texas NORML Citizen Lobby Day at the Capitol on February the 18th, Wednesday. We will meet at the Robert E. Johnson Conference Center at 10 a.m. We will do training from 11 a.m. till noon. We'll have lunch, and then at 1 p.m. we will break up into teams and visit our legislators' offices. You don't have to have any experience. You'll be assigned to a team with 6 or 7 people. There will be a team leader that knows his or her way around the Capitol, and they will take you to your legislators' offices. And then we'll go in and we'll talk to either the aide or, if we get lucky, the actual legislator about HB 507 and our medical marijuana bill. So please, if you can be with us on February the 18th, this is going to be a huge event. Our Puff and Putt Golf Tournament and Music and Arts Festival at Willie Nelson's Golf Course, which is called Willie Nelson's Cut and Putt, will be Saturday, March 28th, 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. We had a great time last year, and this year is going to be even bigger. We're going to have bands from the Austin area. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have food. We're going to have disc golf. It's going to be a fantastic time. So look for this invitation on our Texas NORML Facebook page. It'll have all the details. We will be at Austin Reggae Fest April 17th through the 19th, educating citizens and signing up new members. At Reggae Fest, we make contact with literally hundreds of Texas citizens, and we sign up a lot of new members there. We are going to have some cool new merchandise at Reggae Fest. So come check out our booth, come hang around with us, come buy some of the new t-shirts and hats. It's going to be a fantastic Reggae Fest this year. Our annual Marijuana March will be Saturday, May 2nd at the Capitol. This is a big event. We will have great speakers and good music. We rally up down at the down at City Hall. We have a police escort. Jack Spinkle leads everybody up to the Capitol, and then we have a big rally on the steps of the Capitol. And this is where we really talk about legalizing marijuana in Texas. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for supporting the legalization movement in Texas. Please visit our board members over at the merchandise table, and come talk to me if you have any questions about anything to do with Texas NORML, or talk to one of our board members. Thank you.
One bright morning when my work is over, I'll fly away home. Lord, one bright morning when my work is over, I will fly away home. One bright morning when my work is over, I'll fly away home. We'll be right back. Stick around.